Hello, hey, what's up, everybody? Caitlin Silva here, founder of the Author Mentor. I am so excited that you're here, that you've watched all the videos, that you've been with me the entire time for the workshop. I hope that you've already been putting things into practice and experiencing some shifts and some results already with your writing, having some breakthroughs, and making progress towards your goal. I've got my little one with me here today for this video, but I really wanted to take some time, as I mentioned yesterday, and share all about the secret sauce to reaching your author goals starting right now. So just to recap, in day number 1, we talked about the biggest myth of being a writer, or rather the discouragement that can happen when writers look at other writers and think, oh, what if I can't reach that, right? There's this myth that you have to write every day, or that it's supposed to be super easy. And really, it's a challenge, right? It's a marathon. So we talked about how you can make time for your book and how you can start pushing toward those goals yourself without letting all those discouragements really push you back. In day 2, we compounded on that, and we talked about why you really haven't reached that goal and the 5 root causes of block and what you can do about it. I wanted to share with you all that really it's about writer's block in writing, but also those blocks can apply to publishing or any aspect of the writing journey as well. So it's important to address what those are and know exactly how to overcome them so you can always continue pushing forward and reaching your goals. Yesterday, we talked about the biggest mistake the authors make when publishing and what you can do instead, as well as the publishing checklist resource I provided to guide you step by step through that process and give you exactly what you need to achieve the results that you want. So as we're diving in, as I mentioned, today I want to share with you the secret sauce to really reaching your goals, no matter where you are or what you've been struggling with along the way. So the biggest factor in many people's success is accountability and the right support. Now, before we dive too much, I want to share with you that I'm not necessarily saying that you have to hire a mentor, but that option is always a great one if it's something that works for you and you know is exactly what you need. What I want to share with you is that there are definitely a ton of resources out there at your disposal. I mentioned in day 2 that sometimes this can actually lead to overwhelm and that there can be counterproductive and misinformation out there. So it's important to be clear and make sure that you know exactly who you're getting it from and make sure that it actually works. But on that note, there is definitely a wealth of information at your disposal to help guide you and push you and take you exactly where you want to go and give you the information and the tools that you need to succeed. So I absolutely encourage you to do that regardless of what that looks like. So maybe that's a book, maybe that's a little course, maybe that's guidance from someone in a community. There's blogs, there's videos on YouTube. There's definitely resources. And again, I encourage you to absolutely do that if that's what works for you. As I mentioned, the biggest thing that I want you to consider is when you're getting that support, again, to really consider where it's coming from and how well it's working. I've talked to a lot of writers that have said, oh, I have a support system. But what I really want to ask them is, well, has that support system allowed you to reach the goals that you really want to reach and at the progress rate that you want to be achieving? So if you have that support system, that's fantastic. I love that you have that. And that is definitely a key factor in success, especially as you're launching your book. However, many times writers I've talked to that have the support system still aren't quite reaching their goals because the support system is kind of like the blind leading the blind, right? Unless someone has actually achieved those results for themselves, how can they really teach you what you need to do from experience to take you where you need to go and help you overcome the hurdles that are going to come up along the way? Because let's be honest, hurdles do come up no matter where you are in the writing process. Once you achieve one goal, there's the next goal. That's part of being human, right? Because we're on a journey. So what I want to share with you is that I want you to consider and picture climbing up this mountain, right? That you're trying to reach the top. Isn't it great if you, instead of doing it alone, if you have someone that's above you, that's pulling you up along the way, that's helping you overcome those parts of the mountain that are a hurdle and helping you to actually get to the top? Right? So if that sounds like exactly what you need, you have been struggling for a long time, you have support, but you really haven't been reaching your goals or making the progress that you know you want to make, I want to invite you to consider working with someone that can do exactly that, that can take you by the hand, pull you up the mountain, and help you reach your goal at the very top. So if that sounds like, again, exactly what you need, there's a link right below this video where you can reach out and book a chat with me to connect with me on a personal level, and we can talk about you, what you're struggling with. We can talk about your book and your story. We can talk about next steps to help you get exactly where you want to go. The call is complimentary, but I will share with you that the purpose of the call is to potentially discuss working together side by side to achieve your goals together. So if this is not a now thing for you and you're really thinking you want to look around at other things first, then don't book the call. But if you know that having a mentor and having someone along with you to hold you accountable, to guide you, and to really support you and push you in reaching your goals, then book the call. And let's connect and let's chat about how I can support you and we can work together in achieving your author goals. I can't wait to learn more about you. Again, you're encouraged to do so if it's going to work for you. And if not, you're encouraged to look into all the resources out there. Additionally to those resources, I would like to share with you that if you're not thinking about a mentor, there are absolutely some other things that I have available for writers to help them and push them to succeed. One of those things is the Writers Club community on Facebook, which is a community of writers that are specifically there to help, encourage, and support each other through wherever you are in the writer's journey to really help you to succeed. And I definitely encourage you to look into that and to join that community if you're looking for something like that. It's a safe, encouraging environment, and so many writers have already found it beneficial in reaching their author goals. You'll also see a link for that below the video. Remember that we're here to write, publish, inspire.
I am just beyond words because my book showed up today. I know it's backwards spelling because I'm in selfie mode, but I'm so excited. I'm holding in my hand. See it? And it's got pages, a book that I wrote with my name on the bottom. Yay! So exciting.
I wanted to come on live because I'm very excited to say that I am going to be published for the first time in March this year. So it's a big dream come true for me. It's going to be an absolutely amazing book with a collaboration of different women who have experienced a profound change in their life and now have what they consider having it all and how they got there. So it's very, very exciting. But the reason I wanted to come on is because I have to tell you, I completely underestimated the mindset work that goes into writing something that you know is about to be published. And I'm actually a psychologist and NLP master coach. And so I'm a mindset expert and I do coach many, many writers. However, I will tell you, when I was in the driver's seat, the things that come up, wow. Even as an expert in that area, I just was not prepared for what goes through your mind. And I am so thrilled to say that I actually hired Caitlin Silva as my coach. Caitlin is the brains behind this incredible tribe here. So she runs it. And I don't know if you guys are aware of just how incredible she is. So I will say this. I had one little concern when I was taking Caitlin on. She's a very kind and beautiful soul. And I thought, she might be too gentle on me. But can I just say, once I got in there, the steps that she took me through, I followed them to a T. I thought, okay, I need an expert here. And I followed them through and then sent her my drafts, and I was just really sort of embarrassed and nervous because you just don't know how what you write shows up. But I did it exactly the way she guided me. I won't repeat it here. I will, hire her as your coach so you can find out for yourself. It's incredible. So regarding how nice she is, I thought, oh, this will be fascinating. But what I experienced was that Caitlin created this really loving space, and that enabled me to just write freely, like from the soul. So it was very heartfelt writing that I did. And the editing process was really loving. And so it very quickly shifted from my inner critic attacking me and then my fear of whether I would get like harsh feedback from her or too gentle feedback. It was absolutely perfect. I very quickly shifted to a space where I felt safe to just go for it, knowing that she would lovingly suggest areas to tighten it up and edit. And at one point, literally, I needed to edit out. So I went to an editor and I needed to shorten it. And as I mentioned, it's collaboration. I needed to edit out something like, how many, about 5,000 words. I thought, oh my goodness, how's that meant to work? But working with Caitlin, oh my goodness. So I will tell you, for years now, I'm a great writer. I've always, written articles and other things, and I just assumed that I could do some quick online courses and then just go it alone. And this was just a chapter, and I'm thinking, wow, for an actual book, whether it's a chapter or a book, I now see the absolute criticality of having a coach. Accountability, the steps, they have processes. Caitlin has a very clear, gentle, kind process. I did this over the Christmas break. I had kids at home, so frankly, I think it's a miracle. I could not have done it without her. But I now absolutely see the importance of having a coach. And I hope Caitlin doesn't mind me jumping on to share this with you. But if you have any desire to make 2020 the year that you get a book out, just do it. Like this came as a surprise opportunity when I was chosen for this. And I am happy to tell you that come March 2020, around International Women's Day, I will be a published author for the first time. So that's a dream come true for me. But I will tell you, the fact that I could get that out of my head and off to the editor so quickly, meeting the specifications, was only possible thanks to having Caitlin as my coach. Like literally, guys, I can't even, how can I put this? I just can't. It was a dream that I thought, for years I thought I can do this alone, and I would sit down, I would do an outline and just start typing. Forget about it. What's it like having a coach? So first of all, I'd say it's important to be coachable. It just takes all the pressure off, because what Caitlin did was, this was the best way for me. So we chatted about my approach to it. So she realized that for me, the best way would be just to give me the next step so that I don't feel overwhelmed. So I would go away, work on the next step. She would check in, make sure I'd done it, and then I'd send it off to her. Then she'd give me guidance on how to do it next. And it just sped the whole thing up, because I think when we try and go it alone, Sarah, we're just kind of muddling our way through it and trying to figure it out. Working with a coach and they have the steps, it takes that whole pressure off. And then suddenly you know that there's a process and they can shortcut you, because they know what phases, like in terms of mindset, we should take and in what order to do things. And just knowing that I have an expert like Caitlin, like looking at it and going through it, it just takes that whole pressure off. And I mean, I'm still a little bit nervous and excited, but I feel better about it having had a professional guide me. So what I learned was I could have spent years trying to figure this out. Well, I did. So I did spend years and never actually publish. And then within under a month, it was off to the editor. I still can't believe I'm going to be an author just in under 3 months. So Caitlin, thank you so much. I love you. I'm just amazed. I'm completely blown away. And anyone else who's even vaguely thinking about it, just to have a chat. Like mine just started off as a casual chat, and then once I got started with the writing, I got straight back to her and said, I think I need help. And then I just booked her as a coach, and it was the best decision I ever made.
I just wanted to take a minute to say that doing this program with Caitlin was probably the best decision that I've ever made for myself. I struggled for 12 years trying to write one book, and by the time I found Caitlin, she really had her work cut out for her working with me, because I had about 3 different versions this size, handwritten and one typed, and all of them were the same book except slightly different. And I was really making myself crazy, because in a 12-year time span, I changed my mind about a lot of stuff, and there were some and certain ones that I really liked that I hated, and other versions, and I really just wanted to publish one book. And so she really got in the nitty-gritty with me, and we worked out what I liked and rewrote, and finally I have this to show for it. And I'm really, really happy with it. And I know for a fact I never would have published if it wasn't for her, because I just never would have been able to get my brain together, and I was afraid of the process. I didn't know what was legitimate and what wasn't, and so I'm really, really happy that I did this program. It was clear, it was step by step, and I was never confused, and even if I did get confused, she was there to explain everything. No question was stupid. So I very, very highly recommend Caitlin Silva. Thank you.